Does the Prime Minister agree that imprisoning Lucy Connolly, a young mother with a 12-year-old daughter, for one foolish social media post, soon deleted, is clearly not an efficient or fair use of prison? It is said that a picture says 1,000 words, so here it is. A fat, bloated state freeloading off a thin, emaciated taxpayer. Next time you encounter some Orwellian virtue-signalling doublespeak from local or national government, remember this picture and reflect on the fact that you elect them and your taxes pay for them. Who should be the servant and who should be the master? Just last week, I uncovered 2 coaching roles offered by Ipswich and Fulham, both specifically excluding white men from applying. Ipswich made the right choice and removed the racist ad. Fulham have not. These roles have been pushed by the Premier League itself. Match-going fans are overwhelmingly male and overwhelmingly white. They would be surprised to hear that clubs are banning them from applying for certain roles based on their skin colour. Racism is racism, even when white people are on the receiving end of it. I hope that all of us in this House call it out for the wickedness that it is. If raising legitimate concerns about thousands and thousands of unchecked foreign males illegally entering our country makes me far right, then so be it. If objecting to these men, often from alien cultures that hold no respect for women, being housed in luxury accommodation at taxpayers' expense makes me a racist, then so be it. If believing that immigration should be strictly controlled and designed to solely benefit the British people makes me a bigot, then so be it. I do not care, and nor should you. For too long, our language has been policed and censored. Decent men and women have been forced into silence. I say no more. My constituents look around their town, and they've seen their once booming home change beyond recognition. Uncontrolled mass immigration has failed Great Yarmouth, as it has failed the entire country. Just like the majority of the rest of the country, in 2010 they voted for lower immigration. In 2015 they voted for lower immigration. In 2016 they voted for lower immigration. In 2019 they voted for lower immigration. What did the Conservatives do? Allowed immigration to soar with no thought to the brutal consequences. The roads are packed, the hospitals are full, GP surgeries are bursting at the seams, dentists are inaccessible. Quite frankly, the system is broken, and mass immigration is largely responsible. I fear that everybody in Britain won't understand the damaging reality of socialism until they've experienced it. The only difference between this government and the last is that they may be more honest about what they're intending to inflict upon the British people. And as you know, I don't call them grooming gangs, I call it Pakistani rape gangs, because 95% of these people are Pakistanis and very often from a particular part of Pakistan.
That's absolutely not true.
So it is true. It is true. But anyway,
no.
let's
From 2023, no, I'm going to tell you this.
Park that.
224 white grooming gang suspects were found compared to 22 Pakistani suspects. Why do you only talk about the Pakistani grooming gangs? That's police statistics from the Times.
I've now got on my
police statistics from the Times.
If you look at my rape gang inquiry, which you asked me about.
No, I didn't. I asked you why you're insisting on politicising child exploitation.
20,000 people have donated about £620,000 now. That shows you the depth of feeling and concern amongst British people.
Doesn't it show you should be ashamed that you are making money off a re-exploitation
I'm not. I've given money.
This
I've given money. I'm not making money. I've given money to it. I will make absolutely less than zero. I've given a substantial sum to it, as have other people who care.
Why are you doing this? Why are you just trying to talk about Pakistani grooming gangs when there are 4 times, 8 times and 10 times as many white grooming gang suspects?
Do you not think, Emily, there's an issue with Pakistani Muslims raping working-class white underage girls? Do you not think there's an issue there?
I think there is an appalling issue with grooming when it hits any community and any age. We only ever hear you talk about Pakistani perpetrators.
Are you telling me there's no issue?
I'm telling you that you are focusing on Pakistani grooming gangs because probably you're racist and you don't believe that there are white perpetrators of the same crime. Can you deny that?
I am concentrating on it because it's a blot on our national history. Mass deportations of illegal migrants and foreign criminals must be our ultimate policy objective. Is it going to be logistically straightforward? Absolutely not. Is it necessary? Absolutely yes. It's mass deportations or a mass amnesty. I choose deportations. Will the Leader of the House commit to a debate in government time on how we can deport the numbers required on a rapid timescale that is acceptable to the British people who reasonably expect our borders to be policed and the law upheld? Well, personally, I think we should be allowed to opt out of the NHS and have some form of, scheme where we buy our own healthcare and take ourselves out of the NHS. There's a lot of ways in which you can actually solve the NHS. As we know, Jeremy, central planning never has and never will work. And what the NHS now is a centrally planned beast. It's like an animal on the back of productive Britain, and it's killing us. So somebody's got to grasp the nettle and sort it out. So personally, I think my view of life is not always the same as others. I want to empower people to take control of their own lives. I don't want a dependency culture, which effectively is what Gordon Brown tried to create, hoping that they'd always vote Labour. And I've said consistently, I was on Michelle Dewberry on GB News on Monday.
But you said he's not being given credit.
Render unto Tommy Robinson what is Tommy Robinson's, and render unto reform what is reform's. But that doesn't mean to say you don't give credit to people who've actually done good work on something. Now, I don't know what Tommy Robinson's done.
But he's a vile man, isn't he?
Hang on. I've said he's not right for reform. He himself says he's not right for reform. So you can try and make as much mischief as you want, but the fact of the matter is, we aren't going to come together, but that doesn't mean to say you don't give people credit for what they've done well. I think our judiciary has been probably slightly captured. I think what's happened in Britain is that, our establishment have become very concerned about being called racist. They've become very concerned about the sort of multicultural post-war experiment. And at the end of the day, they've allowed the growth of Sharia courts, which I think is a disgrace. If you come to this country, Gordon, you live by our laws, we're all equal under the law. We cannot have Sharia courts. I think there are 92 of them across the country. It's a disgrace. What it is people basically abrogating their own responsibility for dealing with issues. That's what it is. And I'm sorry, it's got to be tackled. It's got to be dealt with.